could feel the sun shining. I could see the stars aligning. I know that it's perfect timing. I could feel my heart beating. I could feel the love peaking. I know that we're gonna need it. Just keep that smile up on your face, 'cause everything's gonna be okay. Just sing along.
Hi everyone, welcome to STEAM class. This is a very special week because we celebrate the anniversary of the Mexican Revolution. That's why we had a day off on Monday. Are you ready to start? Let's go! Before we start, make sure to have this material ready. We're going to use the math notebook and colors, crayons, or markers. Today's class objective is to be knowledgeable. I want you to use your previous knowledge to the activities that we're going to do today. And we're going to review weights and numerical pattern error sequence, and we're going to create more complex spiralaterals. We're going to focus on the A of STEAM that represents art, and we're going to focus on the M that represents math. If you put it together, this makes math art. They say that math art contributes to exercise your brain. Interesting, right? We're going to focus on number patterns and sequence numbers. We have seen this last class. Remember that a sequence is a particular order or repetition of events, numbers, movements, or things. Today, you need to be knowledgeable. You're going to use what you already know to learn new things. You're going to use your previous knowledge in math to make spiralaterals. Now, remember that there are different types of sequence, and even numbers is one example of a sequence where you go skip counting by 2. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Odd numbers is another example of a sequence that is very well known, and in which you also count by 2s. Skip counting is another sequence of numbers. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, and on. Remember, sometimes patterns in numbers are not very obvious. Therefore, you need to take a look into them to identify what makes the sequence similar, right? In this case, on the first pattern, you will see that they are subtracted by 3. So 18 minus 3, 15, 15 minus 3, 12, and on. Now, look at the second example. What pattern can you identify? What? I know. Each number has a 6 added to it. So 11 plus 6, 17. 17 plus 6, 23. And on and on and on. So, congrats! You have identified the pattern. Now, there's also patterns that comes from additions. So in this sequence, you will see that the result or the missing number is 13. Why? Because they are added by 3. Or how about the following example? Which is the missing number? Do you remember this example? Yes! The missing number is 23. And why? Well, because you add 5 to each one of the numbers. Let's see this one. In this one, you need to use the times tables knowledge. Can you see which is the pattern? Yeah, easy peasy, right? The missing number is 32. Why? Because each one of the numbers is multiplied by 2. Hey, you're pretty smart. Very good. Now, let's see this pattern. It's a little bit more complex. Can you see which is the pattern? I'm pretty sure you have done it already. As you can see here, you can have 2 different patterns in one, in which first you add by 3 the numbers on the top, and the numbers from the bottom, you add a 3 too. So you will see that it's 4 plus 3, 7, 7 plus 3, 10, 10 plus 3, 13. And on the bottom, the same sequence. But let me tell you, there are different ways to identify a pattern. There's not always one same solution. Here, you can see that you can also, maybe you've solved this pattern too, in which you subtract a 2 and then add a 5. Subtract a 2 and then add a 5. And both are good. So this is the cool part of the sequence, that there's not only one solution, you have 2 or more. Now, let's see this example. Can you identify the pattern? 2, 6, 3, 9, 6, 18. Which is the missing number? Yes, 15. Why? Well, because you subtract the numbers by 3 and you multiply the ones on the bottom by 3. As you can see there, you have 2 patterns. Now, last class we talked about spiralaterals. Spiralaterals are geometrical figures formed by repetition, just like patterns. And you guys worked on this number sequence. The number 1 sequence that made the small square, the number 2 sequence that made this rectangle, the 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7.
Let's review how to create a spiralateral. Get your math notebook, and as a suggestion, place your notebook horizontally. To draw your spiralateral, you can use marker, crayons, or pencil. I suggest using pencil because if you make any mistake, you can correct it, but I'm going to use the marker this time. So, here's the sequence 1 through 9. Let's make the spiralateral that corresponds to this sequence. So you draw on the middle of your notebook a starting point, and then you start drawing the lines, making the spiral. So first, 1 line, okay, and then 2. 1, 2, and then 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Remember, you need to create a spiral with the lines. Then 7, 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And once you finish, you do the sequence one more time until you close this spiralateral.
Now that you have reviewed how to create a spiralateral, it's time to move on into a more complex sequence. And it's time to put your hands on. What are you going to do this week? Well, this week, you're going to create a spiral of the following sequence of numbers: 5, 1, 6, 2, 7, 3, 8, 4, and 9. I wonder what shape will come out with these numbers. Remember, when you make your drawing pattern, you need to repeat the sequence until you close the spiralateral. I'm really looking forward to see your spiralateral. Please make sure to cover it and upload a picture into Google Classroom. And if you have any questions, please send me a message in Google Classroom, okay? See you next week!
Just sing along with it.